slab cylinder. So spend a little bit of time making sure that everything is adhered together. But it does not have to be super smooth, like I said. So far, I've really smoothed it together pretty well from the outside. Even though it's a little rough looking, I know that it's well connected because I've smeared the clay together pretty well. And like I said, for this guy, I'm not worried about that. And then about it being a little rough. And then the inside actually looks pretty good. You can dip your finger in a little water and make sure you check those connections. But the glaze is also going to fill that in a little bit. And we smeared the outside, the bottom, over the edges a little while. So that's a good connection. I think that's going to be just fine. So what's next with Mr. Skullface here? Like I said, I'm going with the lean so that he's towards, whatever, I don't know how to describe that exactly, but he's kind of leaning back there. That's going to be the back. And the angle that's going like that, I'm going to have that be the front. Because I think it's nice to have that extra room for the chin. So turn that towards you. And I'm just going to start in. So I like to use both hands just like when I'm making a mask. And I'm going to start off by kind of designating the eye area. I'm just rolling the clay. The clay is pretty soft, so it's responding pretty well. And I'm just trying to sort of define where the eye sockets are going to be. It's a great idea to have an actual skull to look at while you're doing this. I've got some models. And anyway, that's good enough for now. And then the next step for me is to kind of go underneath those eye sockets and start to bring out the cheekbones. And so with this method, the clay is soft. It's going to move. Don't freak out. You can fix it later. Just gradually press into it and you'll have some cheekbones. See that? So I've got cheekbones in it. Might feel like it's on the verge of collapse. It probably is a little bit. That's all right. Even if it collapses and you fix it, it's going to be a cool skull mug. Okay, next step. Get yourself, I really like this wooden knife tool, and I'm going to do the nose. So looking at the nose, kind of has a two-part thing going on. So I'm going to press that in there. Press that in there. And maybe from the inside. Notice I was supporting it from the inside. Maybe I'll press that out a little bit. Maybe I'll press out his little skull eyebrows a little bit too. Okay, so it's starting to come together. I'm going to define his upper teeth area a little bit, and now I'm going to bring in this cool tool I have that's it's like a curve, but it's kind of narrow. I really like this one for teeth. So I'm just going to start in here. And you could use a bamboo skewer for this and define each tooth that way. However you want to do it. I really like this tool here because it kind of shapes it and defines it at the same time. And then, if you want to, you could stop there, or you could do the bottom. I'm going to do his bottom teeth like that. I'm getting some extra lines, but I can just erase those later from the tool. Wow, this guy's really scary looking. Like I said, I like making these kind of rough. So I think they're more fun that way. All right, now we're looking at the upside down skull guy. How does he look? Yeah. So I would use this part of the wooden knife tool to maybe either way, you know, you can give those eyes just a little bit more definition. And here's another bit of definition on the eyes. And you know, you don't want to poke through your 1/4 inch clay, but you can press into it firmly, especially if you support it from behind. I don't know, I kind of like those lines. You guys can see what I'm doing here. There. So that's him, the basics. I like to go back and kind of add in this little thing from the side. I should know the names of all these bones. And I'm kind of pressing in above where the cheekbone is sticking out. And then, so there he is basically. And then, I don't know, I think it's kind of fun if you want to, I don't know, you can work the eyes a little more. I also think it's fun to pull, maybe even with a little bit of water and a wet finger here, kind of try to stretch out the back a little bit to make the back of the skull. But again, just a little bit of water, and make sure that your hand is really, your fingers are really, you know, stretching the clay and slipping along it at the same time. And again, you may need to practice a little bit. You might tear it. So just go at it kind of gently. And there he is. Yeah, that's good.